And now I'd like to hand over to my namesake, Shivani Bothra. She actually uses yoga and pragya meditation to help people sort of centralize. We say kendrit karte hain apni energy ko na. I don't know how to say it in English. How do you say it in English? You uplift energy. So I'll ask her to uplift energy, and at the same time, if your energy is flagging, I'll share a little bit of news with you. Muni Udit ji has kindly suggested that we head for lunch after this presentation. So we will be deprived of his words post this for the summation, but I'm sure what his thoughts were will be put together very nicely, have been put together nicely by the panelists. We're also going to skip the question answer session because we need to keep to time. So we'll, as soon as Shivani finishes, though her presentation ends in questions, we'll discuss those through lunch, and we'll break for lunch at 1:30, and we'll contain that to a half-hour break if you don't mind. So Shivani, thank you so much.
Thank you, Shivani ji. My deep regards to Acharya Shri ji, all the sadhus and sadhvis present in this campus, summonees, and my greetings to the conference organizers, conference volunteers, and my co-participants. I would also like to regard Dr. Peter Flugel, whom I consider my online mentor. Thank you for giving this opportunity. My presentation is about the Anuvrat movement addressing 21st century concerns for ecology, economy, and social justice. For the past 60 years, the Anuvrat movement is steadily growing, touching the lives of individuals regardless of their religion, caste, income level, gender, or nationality. It is a social, ethical, and spiritual movement embracing selective Jain principles that are secular in nature for a broader global appeal. Acharya Tulsi, through his charismatic personality, strong determination, and unwearying efforts, set out to realize his dream into a reality by tapping individual potentiality in order to make a difference in the post-independence Indian society. He gave a model of 11 vows. I would have initially discussed 4 out of these 11 vows, but keeping the constraint of time, I will skip one vow which Dr. Flugel also discussed in detail. So I will basically discuss 3 vows in order to understand the concept of these vows in its fullest, as Mahendra Muni said, so that we can understand the implications of the movement. I will examine 3 out of these 11 vows in order to see the relation and the nature of its contemporary use to the world society. Vow 4. I will not discriminate on the basis of caste, creed, color. I will not treat anyone as untouchable and believe in human unity. The 4th vow is grouped in the category Ahimsa, which is the hallmark of Jainism. However, it is neither related to physical violence nor related to non-vegetarianism. It deals with unacceptable human behavior towards other humans. Tulsi poses a question as noted in the philosophy of the movement, quote, "An evil may be untouchable, dirt or ailment may be untouchable, but how can a man or a woman be untouchable?" Unquote. It is a significant question for humanity to think about because the conditions of our birth is not within our choice. So how can there be a disparity of caste, creed, color, or sex because of birth? Along similar lines, Gandhi and many other social religious reformers before Acharya Tulsi had also raised similar questions against such widespread differences in human society. But the Anuvrat movement championed the cause and formalized it in the form of a vow, a pan-Indic, deep-rooted concept with a hope to eradicate such vices from the societies. With regard to its contemporary application, I would like to draw attention to a few recent examples of existing discrimination both in India and outside. One case is the killing of the black and 18-year-old Michael Brown in a firing by a white policeman. Times of India presents the news headline as "US buries Brown, racial divide lives on." Another news item from the popular English language newspaper, The Hindu, titled, "Let us stop pretending there is no racism in India." Such news headlines are not limited to any specific country, but are spread as a disease in the entire world of human habitation. Thus, Recognizing this as a violent disease, Acharya Tulsi developed the fourth vow, which resonates with the problems of the present century. Sixth vow, I will observe rectitude in business and general behavior. I will not harm others in order to serve any ends, and I will not practice deceit. The sixth vow combines two categories, Satya, which is truth, and Astay, non-stealing. These moral principles underscore basic ethical concerns for business. Alternatively, this vow carries the spirit of business ethics, a term well adopted worldwide in the 21st century. According to Tulsi, this vow is meant to restrain people from employing unethical, immoral means to maximize profit. An individual who embodied this vow would not trade stolen merchandise, use false weights and measures, adulterate or substitute their products with inferior quality commodities, fail to pay the required taxes or take bribes. The injunctions to truthfulness and honesty are directly and significantly applicable today as they were in the mid-20th century. Tulsi's emphasis on individual change that would lead to a social change was in tune with the views of the prominent American economist Milton Friedman. According to Friedman, quote, the only entities who can have responsibilities are individuals, unquote. Whether there is an individual trader, a small business house, or large corporates, the decision maker in all these cases is usually an individual. Individual responsibility is thus the keystone of social responsibility or corporate social responsibility for the future global society. Vow 9th, which I'm going to skip, which is I will not encourage socially evil customs. I now come to the 11th vow. I will be alert to the problems of keeping the environment pollution-free, not cut trees, and will not waste water. The 11th vow and the final vow once again falls under the category of ahimsa, but expands the concept further by including nature as well. Perhaps here Tulsi draws inspiration from Mahavira's theory of interdependence, that is, all living beings render service to one another. According to Mahavir, one who neglects or disregards the existence of earth, fire, water, and vegetation disregards his own existence, which is entwined with them. The vow of not cutting trees is in accord with environmental movements such as Chipko movement, where, if necessary, trees are hugged and protected from being cut. Now I raise some questions which are thought-provoking. But how many urban dwellers in India or outside are in a position to cut trees? What kind of awareness exists among the consumers regarding the use of wood products or regarding the use of paper? What is an individual's carbon footprint before every action or every purchase which we do? Is it not an important consideration? Do we need 100 sheets of A4 size paper with boldly written reserved on the conference chairs? Why? Why do we need that extra paper? How does it matter who sits where? Like Shivani ji said in the morning, aren't we all a family? How does it matter who sits on the front row or who sits on the last row? People will anyway come and give their talk and go. Just by not cutting trees is not enough. We have to really understand where does paper come from, how much water is used in order to produce the paper, and how much wood is used in order to produce that paper. I'm skipping some more quotes. So far from the brief explanation of the vows, it is implied why the slogan, self-restraint is life, formed the philosophical ideal behind the Anuvrat movement. Though Anuvrat is not the invention of Acharya Tulsi, but he extended the principle and raised it to a level that can be achieved by all. In many ways, Tulsi's ideas resonated with Gandhi's, such as when Gandhi stressed that nonviolence is not a weapon of the weak. Similarly, employing Tulsi's Anuvrat vows demonstrate a lot of courage and strong willpower. Presumably, through the Anuvrat movement, Acharya Tulsi wanted to create a brave new world, which is characterized by social justice, harmonious living, and sustainability. I am inspired to take the title A Brave New World of the masterpiece and philosophical voice of Aldous Huxley. Huxley to represent the implications of Tulsi's Anuvrat movement. The Anuvrat movement, in conclusion, I would like to say, the Anuvrat movement has had remarkable success in drawing attention towards the post-independence Indian society's need for social change through character development and ensuring ways for embracing ethics in everyday life or living. But when it comes to seeing the impact within its own tradition, that is Terapanth tradition, Anuvrat has very little to say. Moreover, when it comes to Jains, irrespective of sectarian biases, this movement falls mysteriously. Therefore, taking into account the various discussions on Anuvrat, on environment and circular economy, it is the ripe time for us to reconsider our action in light of Tulsi's Anuvrat movement as a cradle of change for social justice, economy and ecology in the 21st century. Thank you.